POPAHOLICs, it's again me, Arie Abramovich, Mr.Blackhead. Happy to see all of your smiling faces back on my channel, and for those of you who are the first time here, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the video at least the way I enjoyed extracting those blackheads. First of all, I will start with I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that I haven't uploaded more than a month. Not that I don't have any new treatments, that I feel I actually do have a couple, but I was working on two main things. The first thing is this video, but the second one is something quite unique which I really wanted to launch with this video, and that's why it took so much time for another video. Are you curious to know what is this unique thing that I've been working on? Let's just say at the moment that I'm pretty sure that this is something that hasn't been done before in this field of pimple popping on YouTube, so I'm both excited and nervous at the same time. But as for now, you will have to watch and listen to the entire Mr. Blackhead podcast, we can say, while watching the best extractions on my channel during 2018. Also, as you already noticed, it's quite a long video compared to my regular uploads, and therefore I've decided to take advantage of it and to answer all of the questions from an older video where I've asked you to send me questions for the Q&A. So you can see it as the first official Q&A of the channel. I don't know how much time it would take to answer all of the questions, so if I don't manage to go through all of them in this session, then I would probably do another part in the next video. Are you ready for a once-in-a-lifetime experience? In a world where there are only blackheads, one pimple is trying to make the impossible. No, I'm just kidding. I like sometimes to impersonate the movie trailer guy. Anyway, I will start with more of the personal questions and continue with the professional ones. So let's begin. First question, where I'm from originally. Great question to begin with. As if I'm not the one who chose the order of the questions. It really depends on what you consider original. My place of birth is Ukraine. However, a short time after the Soviet Union has collapsed, my parents, together with my entire extended family from both sides, decided to immigrate, and because we're Jews, the best place was to immigrate here to Israel. So basically, since the age of 2, I'm a proud Israeli. My identity is very much Israeli, and I don't even remember anything from Ukraine. So if you would ask me where I'm from originally, then I would say definitely Israel, but I'm also proud of my Ukrainian roots. Second question, what is my accent and how come I have such a good English? Okay, actually, I have no idea because it's not an Israeli one. Israeli accent sounds like this. Maybe I even did it less Israeli than I can. And it's also not a Russian accent, because the Russian accent sound like this. No, I think it was a mixture of Russian Italian Russian Italian accent. I would say it's my unique accent, while I'm trying to make an American accent with no success. Regarding my English level, as you can understand, English is not my first language, but also not my second, because that would be Russian. It is actually my third language. I also understand quite good Spanish, because when I was the age of 6 or 7, we had here in Israel a lot of Spanish soap operas with only subtitles. So I understand quite good Spanish. I even can talk a little bit, but I wouldn't say that it is my fourth language. I just like very, very basic. I think like the average American maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, here in Israel, we start learning English in the 3rd grade till the end of high school, but I would say that the English level they teach here in schools is not so good. Most of the people in my generation can understand English pretty well, but they speak it in a very low level. And so did I, about 6 years ago, but before I've become an esthetician officially, I've been working in international companies where I had to learn how to speak English in order to survive there. And so I did, with a lot of practice and a lot of mistakes during this journey, and I believe that till this day I have still many mistakes, but not as much as I had before. Third question, am I planning on ASMR career due to my voice? I have to say I've received many comments in the past couple of months about creating an ASMR channel, and actually there was a time when I have used my voice here in Israel for small like radio commercials and voicemails. Hello, you have reached the voicemail of Arie. To leave a message, press 1. And many times I've pranked my friends as if they've reached my voicemail, and it really worked. Also, when I get spam calls, I start with hello, and if I hear it's someone trying to sell me something, then I continue with you have reached the voicemail of, and usually they just end up the call themselves very quickly. So if we go back to the topic, all these comments made me really think about it, about starting an ASMR channel. I'm still not sure, but when I do decide to open a channel like this, you would be the first one to know, I promise. Fourth question. When did I start with pimple popping and why, and for how long am I doing it professionally? Okay, so my addiction with pimple popping began I think around the age of 9. My grandparents were living with us till I was 14 years old, and my grandfather had all the time huge blackheads only on his back. Once in 2 weeks approximately, my mother would come back from work and extract those blackheads, you know, the old school way, no gloves, just with her bare hands and long, strong Ukrainian nails. And at the beginning I thought it was really, really gross. Why would someone watch this? Unless they are tortured by the communist regime. But my curiosity was stronger than my repulse, so I stayed and watched it every time, and very, very quickly I became addicted to it, so addicted that I was super angry at my mom if she wouldn't call me to watch the session, or if she had the session during times where I haven't been at home. At some point, around the age of 14 or 15, I started to have also blackheads and pimples on my face, and that's where I've become even more addicted. So addicted that I have a couple of small scars from doing it in a very, very wrong way. And that's it. Only a couple of years ago I've decided that I want to become an esthetician, and I've started some kind of internship with an esthetician that I know, but very quickly I understood that if I want more clients and to take it really seriously, I need to have a certification, and this is when I've decided that I'm going to learn it in a dedicated school. So basically I'm working in this field for the past 3 years, and watching pimple popping videos on YouTube was really one of the things that drove me into this decision of going and learning the profession in a professional school. So if any of you loves it so much and would like to be an esthetician, don't hesitate and go and study it right away. Make it as your, I don't know, New Year's resolution, even though basically at the end of January. And again, sorry for taking so much time for uploading this video. Question number 5. Am I a dermatologist, and what kind of degree or certification do I have? I've got many comments saying Dr. Abramovich at the beginning, as if I'm a doctor. And even though I would make my Jewish mom's dream come true, I'm not a doctor and I don't have any plans to become one. As I said in the previous question, I've got a governmental certification for being an esthetician, and in Israel it's only 1 year for education. There are also many other courses that many estheticians take after this main course, and you can go to different areas in this field, but at the moment I've got the basic certification. Maybe in the future I will try to go to more medical areas in the field, but at the moment I'm pretty satisfied with the basic certification that I've got. Question number 6. How old am I? Am I married? And do I have a family, children, etc.? I'm 29 years old, not married yet, but I'm living with my girlfriend for the past 4 years. Her name is Tal, and we don't have any human kids. I mean, like smaller versions of ourselves, but we do have a wonderful dog, which is pretty much our kid, and her name is Megan. We treat Megan as if she's our kid, and she's a pit bull that looks really tough and scary, but in reality she's the cutest thing ever, and she's afraid of everything because she was abused. We actually took her from a non-profit organization that rescues dogs from abusive owners, so now she has the most loving family she could ever ask for, and we kiss her all day long and hug her and pet her and do everything that dog owners should do. So if you don't do these kind of things, you're not a good dog owner. No, I'm kidding. Question number 7. Do I poop? I mean, Do I pop my own blackheads or do I let them be? Do I look like John Lennon? No. No, let it be in my house. Of course I pop them. Are there really popaholics out there that don't pop their own blackheads unless it's on your back and it's in a very specific spot where no matter what you won't be able to reach it? In these cases, I just ask my girlfriend or my fellow esthetician to pop it for me. Question number 8. Who is my videographer? My videographer is my brother. He is also a popaholic as I am, and it all because of me. I've started to watch those videos when we were still living together at my parents' house, and one day he entered my room while I was watching one of, those videos. It sounds like he caught me watching porn or something. Anyway, he was like, "Oh my god, what is this gross thing that you're watching at?" But before I could even explain myself, he was hypnotized and started making voices like, "Oh snap, oh damn, this is a big one. Have you seen what came out of there?" And again, we're not talking about porn. The funny thing is that we've started to watch sometimes those videos together as a way to bond as brothers, which is a very weird way to bond as brothers. But one day my father came into the room and he was like, "What are you doing, both of you?" And we were like, "No, Papa, it's not what you're thinking." And again, for some reason, it sounds like we were watching porn. Anyway, before we could even say Dr. Pimple Popper, my father was hooked also. And since we've started this YouTube channel, every time we upload a new video, my father is the first critic. He calls us on the phone and says things like, "Oh, I really like this and that and how this blackhead popped, and maybe you should film it next time from a different angle," and so on. So this is my story about my weird family. Question number 9. Why do we like to watch pimple popping videos? There are a couple of theories, but the main one would be that it all starts with our own pimples. When we have pimples on our face and we try to pop them, then in the beginning we feel some kind of tension and stress, but then when the pimple is popped, we get a sense of relief and our brain releases dopamine, which is the happiness hormone. So tension and then relief and then happiness. Tension, relief, happiness. Tension, relief, happiness. Basically, it's like going on a tiny roller coaster with all the ups and downs and all the thrill, but without the need to actually get out of your house. And when we watch the videos online, the same principle applies to tension, then relief, and then happiness. Question number 10. Who are my favorite clients? Men, women, young, old? So my favorite clients are women, obviously. There are not many men who would come to an esthetician, not in my region at least. The only men who do come to me are teenagers with acne that their mom took them for this treatment. Once in a while I do have some grown men, but it's really rare if you compare it to the number of women. Usually the men don't talk too much, so unless they have some fascinating blackheads, they are not that interesting. But with women, it's almost always fun. They are very communicative and we're able to have great conversation. As you can see on my channel, I like talking and also listening. And that is probably the main reason why I prefer female patients, because there is more communication. But like any rule, there are always exceptions, and sometimes I do have a very communicative man, which I also enjoy very much of their company. Question number 11. How important is it to clean the pore completely? So when we clean the pore entirely, we allow the pore to shrink to its original size, and next time when the blackhead would form again, it would be smaller, or hopefully there wouldn't be even any blackhead. And if you don't clean it entirely, then it's basically still clogged, which means it would accumulate more sebum very easily. Question number 12. How long do I work on someone? Okay, it really depends. If it's a new patient that I haven't experienced before, then usually I book for 1 hour. But if it's someone that I already know and I know what I'm going to deal with, then it depends on how much time I believe it would take. It can be, for example, 30 minutes, and my record as for now is almost 2 hours, I think. Question number 13. What is the youngest age I would recommend for extractions? Great question. I would say around the age of 12 approximately. In any way, usually before this age they don't have anything, and if they do have, then I would prefer to send them first to a dermatologist and see what the dermatologist recommend to do in this specific case. I would always prefer the well-being of my patients, even if that means that I would not earn anything from it. I just don't want to take the risk and do some damage to someone. Question number 14. Do I use a numbing solution? Nope, no numbing of any kind. In Israel, only doctors allowed to inject numbing, and my treatments are pretty bearable, so even if I had access to numbing, then I would not use it. And about a numbing solution, you don't need a prescription for that here, but it has some limitations. Like, you should not use it on a damaged skin, for example, acne. And the reason for that is because it has some kind of risk of getting inside the bloodstream, which you should really avoid. As well, it's not the best thing for people with heart disease, liver problems, kidney problems, and so on. So, as always, I'm asking myself with anything that I'm using with my patient, is what is the cost and what are the alternatives? And in this specific case, I do think that my treatments are not that painful as they seem sometimes on the camera. The fact that I'm trying to squeeze from different angles doesn't mean that I apply too much pressure and hurt the patient. Vice versa, it means that I'm trying to extract the blackhead with as minimum pressure as possible. Also, throughout the entire treatment, I'm asking the patient how do they feel, if they can continue, and almost always they feel okay and they're willing to continue. As you can see on the channel, 80% of my clients are regular clients. I'm not sure if that's the right term in English, but anyway, I'm sure you get the idea. So if they have been suffering so much, I don't think they would come back. Question number 15. Am I using gloves? No gloves. Instead of skin, I basically grew on my hands a thick layer of latex. No, seriously, like every time I upload a new video and read the comments, there will be at least one person who writes a comment as if we both have watched a completely different video. Till this day, I really don't get it, seriously. Question number 16. Why am I not using a needle to open up the pores? I've already talked about this specific topic in detail in one of my previous videos, so I will do it as short as possible, even though I'm not sure I can really do it as short as possible, but I will try. I use a needle in either of the following cases. The first case, if there is a really super tough blackhead and I see that this is the only way to extract it, or the second case, if it is a milia or a whitehead, therefore I have to nick the skin because there is no other way. Now, why I don't use it on every blackhead? Because I prepare the skin very well before the extraction, and therefore 99% of the blackheads come out very easily. And I know that sometimes things on camera look different, and you might think that the number of attempts to squeeze the blackhead indicates the difficulty, but it's not always the case, at least in my videos. Sometimes I don't want to push very strong, and therefore I try different angles, as I said before. So in the video it seems as if I'm struggling, but the truth is that I'm trying to make my patient as comfortable as possible and not to push too hard. Another reason that I don't use a needle is because I don't want to injure my patient. If there is blood, then there is some kind of an injury and it can be infected. Yes, I know that in times like this, the chance to die from this kind of infection, or at least to develop a really dangerous infection, is 1 to million, but if I can avoid it, so why taking the risk? And also, if there are many wounds on someone's face, it would make their immune system work harder, which is another thing that I would like to avoid. And lastly, imagine you go for a treatment which is not the most pleasant experience in the world by itself. And now imagine that you look at the mirror after the treatment and see that your face is all bloody and swollen. So if I can avoid it and provide my patient more of a spa-like treatment instead of a dungeon-like treatment, then I would do it gladly. Okay, so now I'm supposed to continue with the question number 17, but I've got a feeling that I won't be able to squeeze the entire Q&A for one video. Therefore, I will continue with one last question, and it would be question number 31, which is a very important question. And then I will let you finish the rest of the video with the music I've chosen for you. So, question number 31, my own question for myself. What is my New Year's resolution in regards to my YouTube channel? Okay, so before I go and answer this question, I just want to thank you. Yes, you. Yes. Don't look back. You, the one who's listening right now. Just the fact that you have listened to my kind of Q&A podcast while watching the best of 2019 means a lot to me. And therefore, I would love to know who you are. So write me in the comments below if you have listened till this point. Now about that question itself, what is my New Year's resolution in regards of my YouTube channel? Easy peasy. I would love to continue doing it and doing it even on a bigger scale. How big? Let's just say that my dream is to upload a video every day. Yes, you heard it right, 365 long pimple popping videos each year. Yeah, I know it's not something that will happen very soon, but I would be more than happy to reach this goal of uploading once a day towards the end of 2020. Now the challenges, I've almost said the problems, but I would prefer the word challenge because challenges we're more willing to overcome. Anyway, let's go back to the topic. The challenges, or basically the challenge, is that even uploading one video a week, it's kind of time-consuming beast. Just to give you a glimpse of what does it take to upload a video once a week, let's say that it includes the treatments themselves, editing it afterwards, writing the script of what I'm going to talk in the video. You know, I'm still not a native speaker, so I have to plan what I'm going to talk about, and it takes quite time, to be honest. Anyway, add to that the time for all of the logistics around, like designing the thumbnails, writing the description, commenting back to you, dear POPAHOLICs, answering private questions and requests, and the list goes on and on. Basically, the labor for me to upload one video once a week can reach very easily between 15 to 20 hours of work. And if you add to it my regular schedule of 40 to 45 hours of work a week in the clinic, you end up by being killed by your girlfriend for abandoning her and your relationship. Let's say that with all of her love for blackheads, she really hated this YouTube channel of mine during the time period where I've uploaded one video a week for 3 weeks in a row. And even though I just love doing it, I'm myself a very passionate popaholic, it became kind of super difficult and even sometimes impossible to upload more than once in 2 weeks or so. Then, where is the solution for this challenge? The solution is to make a living out of it. But during the entire year of 2019, I've made exactly $40. Oh, I'm sorry. It was actually $37 because of PayPal's commission. Now, what about the ad revenue from commercials on my YouTube channel? So apparently YouTube considers this kind of content as not appropriate for most advertisers. So basically you end up not having commercials at all, or if you do have, then you can earn pretty much nothing from your videos. So as some of you probably already know, I'm definitely not a quitter and I do like to achieve things that I haven't done before. That's why I've decided to open a Patreon and together with you make my dream and your sleepless nights watching tons of pimple popping videos on YouTube come true. For those of you who don't know what Patreon is, it is basically a platform that enables you to support your favorite content creator and help them to continue in making the content that you like to watch. The idea of patronage is quite ancient. For those of you who don't know, Shakespeare and Leonardo da Vinci. I have to leave. I really have to leave the blooper of Leonardo DiCaprio. Jeez. Anyway, Shakespeare and Leonardo da Vinci, not DiCaprio, for example, were funded by rich aristocrats, and that is how those individuals could continue with their art. And the aristocrats could continue enjoying their favorite artist's work. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe that everyone, really everyone, needs to have access to watch pimple popping videos for totally free here on YouTube. That's how I discovered this world myself, and this is how professionals in this field like Dr. Sandra Lee inspired me to go and become an esthetician. So I'm saying it out loud, I'm not going to provide her any extra pimple popping videos. I don't believe in subscription in this field, and all of my videos are going to be always free to watch here for everyone. if you don't have the financial ability to support me in the making of this channel, then don't. I would prefer that you don't support me and just continue watching here the videos as long as you want. And believe me that just by writing a nice and supporting comment once in a while would still make my day and warm my heart as always. But if you do have the ability to support and you do want to be a significant part of making these videos, then both me and I believe the entire community of Popaholics would be thankful for you. Also, take into consideration that it's like inviting me personally for a cup of coffee once a month. So I would be able to keep my eyes open during those late nights of editing in front of the computer. And the last thing about this Patreon, there are some cool surprises for those of you who support me, like live streams of me answering your questions and providing some professional consulting, mentioning you in the credits of my videos, and the list, believe me, doesn't end here. So you better check it out. Now, as you know, I don't mind to show you my vulnerable side, so I'm actually a little bit nervous because, as I said at the beginning of the video, no one in this community has ever done this kind of thing before, but on the other hand, I've got also shivers all over my body just by talking about it, because I do believe in our wonderful community. And I've almost forgotten, once I will have at least 500 patrons, I will be able, and I promise, to upload one video a week, with no exceptions. Therefore, for the first 500 patrons who would support me, I would provide a personal video message of me welcoming you to the tribe. So as you finish to watch the video, check out the link in the description below or in the comments, and let's make it happen. That's it. I wish all of us an amazing year and enjoy the rest of the video with the music I've chosen especially for you. Popaholics, I hope you've liked this compilation video, and by the way, remember to visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description or in the comments below. And if you want to continue watching my videos, then here is the playlist of all of my videos from 2019, and if you want to watch my latest video, then you can click here. Thank you very much and have a wonderful rest of the day. See you next time, Mr. Blackhead.